Chapter 2: The Economy. The first. The first Tabasco sauce was created in Louisiana. It is made from little red hot peppers that just love the hot and humid climate. The only. Crater of Diamond State Park in Murfreesboro, Arkansas, is the only diamond field in the world where you can prospect for and keep any diamonds you find. The most. Whatever you are wearing could be from North Carolina. Mills there produce more cloth than any other state. Florida produces about 7 out of every 10 oranges in the United States and 8 out of every 10 grapefruits. Container ships and oil rigs. We will begin our tour of the economy of the Southeast along its waterways. Remember, the economy is the way a region uses its natural resources, goods, and services. Out here in the Gulf of Mexico, the world's largest gulf, everything seems big. A gulf is a large area of sea that is partly surrounded by land. Look at the size of the ships here. These are container ships. They carry huge metal containers stacked like blocks. Inside those containers is everything you can imagine, from bananas to batteries. In the Gulf, you'll also see giant drilling rigs. Do you know what they are doing? They are drilling for oil deep below the ocean bottom. Oil is an important resource in the Southeast. While we are here in the Gulf, let's stop off at one of the world's busiest ports, New Orleans. Port of Trade. Do you know why there are so many ships here? New Orleans is located along the Mississippi River about 100 miles from where the river flows into the Gulf of Mexico. Trace the Mississippi River on a U.S. map. You'll see that the river and rivers that flow into it, its tributaries, reach every region of the country. Here's a barge full of wheat from Ohio. It was towed down the Ohio River to Mississippi to New Orleans. Now the wheat will be loaded onto a freighter bound for Europe or Africa. Wheat and other foods from the Midwest are important crops that we export to other countries. See that freighter from Brazil? It brought in a full load of coffee beans. The beans are being unloaded. Then they'll be taken away to be roasted the way people here like them. The beans have been imported or brought into the United States from another country. More than 6,000 boats pass through the port of New Orleans every year. About 94,000 people work loading and unloading all of that cargo. Let's follow some of this cargo and head out onto the highway to see more of the Southeast economy. Fields of many colors. As we travel the highways, the fields on each side of the highway change colors. They look like a patchwork quilt. There are green fields of rice and tobacco and golden fields of soybeans. There are fields filled with white puffs of cotton and tall fields of corn. The fruit orchards are even taller. All this talk of food makes me hungry. How about stopping for a snack? I'll start with a bag of peanuts. It's my favorite snack. Peanuts are one of the most important crops grown in this region. To grow, peanuts need months and months of warm days and nights. That is just what they get here, a long growing season. They're grown from Alabama to Virginia. But Georgia is the #1 state for growing peanuts. Do you remember which state is #1 for growing oranges? Here's a hint. Oranges grow best where summers are long and winters are cool but rarely freezing. If you said Florida, you're right. Fields of coal. Now, we're ready to visit the coal fields in Kentucky, West Virginia, and Tennessee. Our first stop is Bullpush Mountain. This was the first mountaintop removal mine in West Virginia. Now read that again, slower. Mountaintop removal mine. That's why there's only a meadow here now. The mine is gone, but so is the mountain. Now it's a grassy plateau. Long ago, coal miners used picks and shovels to carve out coal from inside a mountain, but now explosives are used to break up the mountain. Then huge, and I mean huge, shovels pick up and carry away the coal. There are still underground mines too. Let's go see one. Here in Bald Knob, West Virginia, miners work underground. They use a big machine that they can dig 12 tons of coal every minute and load it onto a belt that carries it out of the mine. With machines like that, a whole train of coal cars can be loaded up pretty quickly. Textiles and tables. A lot of coal is burned to create electric power. That's where we are headed next, to a power plant. You know what electricity is used for, right? Some is used to power our lights and television sets, but Most of it is used to make furniture and cars and baseball caps and a whole lot more. Making something, usually with machines, is called manufacturing. The Southeast is the number one region in manufacturing textiles or cloth. They manufacture things from wood too, such as tables, chairs, and beds. The Southeast is also number one in manufacturing furniture. Look at the map on page 15. What other things in your home or school may have been manufactured in the Southeast? It's been a long trip. You're probably ready to slow down for a while. How about going to the beach? Tourists from 2 to 90. With all that water and coastland, the Southeast is a region of beautiful beaches. In summer, people enjoy swimming in the waters of the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Virginia and the Carolinas. In winter, about 40 million tourists flock to the state of Florida alone. But the Southeast has more than just sunshine and beaches. Did you ever want to be an astronaut? You can train to be one at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center's camp in Huntsville, Alabama. Did you ever wish you had been one of the early American settlers? Then relive American history at Williamsburg Colonial Village in Virginia. Ever make a model? At Dollywood in Tennessee, you can watch an Appalachian woodworker carve a musical instrument by hand. You can also ride the rides at one of the great theme parks in the region. Now that we've seen what people in the Southeast do for a living, let's find out more about their history and culture and their way of life.